Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very, very important talk today, harmonizing hormonal health. Before we start, I'd like to know who all are joining a SHARAN talk for the first time. Please type me in the chat box. My name is Reena Rupani, and I'm your host for today. Who all are joining a SHARAN health talk for the first time today? If you could please type me in the chat box. Welcome, Bhavna. Anybody else? Okay. All right. More than 50% of lifestyle related issues are due to hormones. And we're going to learn a lot about this from Dr. Nandita Shah. But before that, I'd just like to take 2 minutes to share my journey. My name is Reena, as I told you, and I'm part of the team SHARAN since the past 12 years. I had severe acidity, and after changing my diet, my acidity disappeared. Plus, I lost about 17 kilos of weight in a period of 8 months. My parents reversed their diabetes and blood pressure. And after I understood and realized it's so easy and it's so delicious to be healthy, and that's how I joined the Sharan team and I help spread awareness about eating right and thinking right. Sharan is started by Dr. Nandita Shah. She is herself was a patient and she healed herself simply by changing what she put into her mouth. And after she learned the benefits of eating right, she was a homeopath. She actually stopped prescribing homeopathy pills and started prescribing only the right way of eating. Anybody here who is following a Sharan diet and has experienced results, if you could please type in the chat box what are the results that you've experienced. This is just my story. We have had thousands and thousands of stories. Dr. Nandita, in fact, has received the Nari Shakti Puraskar for the work that she's done because she's benefited thousands of people to reverse or even prevent lifestyle diseases. Lifestyle diseases happen due to our lifestyle, and all we need to do is change our lifestyle. She's also the author of the bestseller Reversing Diabetes in 21 Days. Anybody here who has had great results after following Sharan diet? Would love you to share in the chat box what are the changes you've experienced. Reduction of blood pressure and LDL. Thank you, Monique. I appreciate it. Anybody else has experienced any changes? After following Sharan, I got healthy weight and always feel energetic. Thank you, Surendraji. I appreciate it. The reason I request you to share is because when participants who have not yet achieved or are new to our talk today get inspired and motivated, because if we all can do it, so can they too. All right, without much ado, let's start today's talk. I'd like to invite Dr. Shah. Bhavika, thank you for sharing. You lowered your glucose levels through the 21-day diabetic program. Thank you, Bhavika, for sharing. I appreciate that. Yes, Dr. Nandita, over to you. Thank you.
I'm so excited to be here with all of you. And that's because, as Rena said, so many people suffer from hormonal problems. Hypothyroidism, you see it everywhere. Diabetes, here and there, right? So many people here. And someone has written, my voice is low. Can everyone hear me?
We can, doctor.
Okay, great. So, Bhavna, maybe headphones will help, right? So, and these things don't need to exist because when I became a doctor, these were way less common than they are today. So, if here is anyone here suffering from a hormonal problem, anyone, and who would like to share? Okay, we don't need to share our personal stuff so much, not required. Hypothyroidism, yes. Perimenopause, true. Kanchan, Bhavika, thank you for that. Okay, So let's get on to the subject right away, and then I'll give you a chance to ask questions if you like, right? So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. So harmonizing hormonal health, so important because all these hormonal problems are actually reversible. Just before we met now, I had a patient who is from Dubai and who had diabetes and hypothyroidism and also a variety of other problems, kidney disease and hypertension and so on and so forth. And the best part is that all of her problems can be reversed and she's already ready to do everything. So, if we just make a decision to get well, it's so easy to do it. One sec. Sorry. Okay. So, can anyone tell me what are the common hormonal problems that we see every day? Just list them in the chat box. Okay, thank you, Ankita. PCOS and acne, and of course, hypothyroidism and perimenopause, and okay, fatigue. Fatigue is a symptom, can be a symptom of anything, but thank you for that. That was sent to me personally, and diabetes, yes, and menstrual problems, yes, and hyperthyroidism also. Vaginal dryness could be a symptom, it could be due to various things. Hair fall also, yes. Too much hunger, this could be a symptom, but it could be a symptom of hormonal issues. Yes, so thank you all of you for sharing. And I'm just going to list a few more common problems just so that you are aware that there are so many hormonal problems. Diabetes, we already said, and oh gosh, polycystic ovarian disease, PCOD, and hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, and premature puberty and infertility. Imagine that we were a country of over fertility and now we have infertility clinics everywhere because these hormonal problems have become so common. Menstrual problems and menopausal problems, and acne and hair fall, of course, and prostate enlargement and breast, ovarian, and prostate cancer. And this morning I saw a patient with prostate cancer. And with SHARAN lifestyle, and I have to say also with allopathic treatment, he is totally out of the woods and feeling energetic again and everything good. And vitamin D deficiency and gynecomastia and hirsutism, all of these, vitamin D is a hormone, right? And so many other hormonal problems that we can get rid of. I once saw a young woman, she was my patient in Mumbai many years ago, and she went to the US to study, young girl, and she came back and she said that I went to US and I started getting unwanted hair on my face. And this was because when she went to the US, she started eating cheese, cheese, cheese. Because it was so easy to make cheese sandwiches. At that time, many years ago, cheese was not so easily available in India as it is today. So, anyway, we'll talk about how dairy causes these problems as well. So, first, let's understand what are hormones. And before I go ahead, I do want to say that anxiety and depression can also be connected to hormones because we experience even emotions through hormones like When you're stressed, your adrenaline or cortisol is high. And if your cortisol remains high due to stress all the time, it can lead to diabetes. So one hormonal problem can lead to other hormonal problems as well. So, what are hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers. So, that give signals from one part of the body to the other. And our body and all the cells in the body are constantly communicating with each other in perfect harmony so that everything happens properly. And many of the communications happen through nerves. But hormones are another mode of communication. And hormones are secreted by endocrine glands. And I'm just going to list a few of them right here. The pituitary. The pituitary is a gland at the back of the brain, and it controls everything. For example, many people have hypothyroidism, and you might have seen that when we have hypothyroidism, we're checking uh, T3, T4, and TSH. Now, T3, T4 are thyroid hormones that are secreted by the thyroid gland. But TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, is secreted by the pituitary gland. It's a message to the thyroid to let the thyroid gland know how much T3 and T4 to secrete. Right? So, like that, the pituitary manages all the other endocrine glands. Then there's the pineal gland, which is also in the brain, and it produces melatonin, which affects sleep. Today, many people take melatonin to sleep better. But actually, it's not a good idea to interfere with our body's hormonal system. Body will put things in place. We just have to think, why has this happened? Why am I not sleeping well? And if it's jet lag, there are ways to overcome jet lag also, but I would say melatonin or taking hormones just for, like for example, this is a wedding season, and so many young girls want to prevent menstruation during wedding or during religious festivals, and they take medicines for that, which are hormones. Ideally, this should not be done. We should never interfere with our hormonal system because it's so well balanced with all these different hormonal glands and the pituitary managing it, and then we come in the way and make a mess. But sometimes we do have to manage it. Like, for example, if you have hypothyroidism, then it is important to take thyroid hormone until the hypothyroidism is healed. And then there's the hypothalamus, which controls the body temperature, the hunger, the moods, the thirst, the sleep, and the sex drive. And this is also in the brain. And then there's the thyroid, which balances the metabolism and the heart rate, and the parathyroids, which control the amount of calcium in the blood, calcium and also phosphorus. And then there's the thymus, which is an immune gland. It produces T cells, which are part of the immune system. And then there's the adrenal gland, which is connected to the kidneys. And this controls sex drive and produces the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. And then there's the pancreas, which produces insulin, which we all know. If there's not enough insulin, we get diabetes. And then there are the sex hormones. The ovaries in women and the testes in men produce sex hormones. The ovaries secrete estrogen, progesterone, and also testosterone. The testes produce testosterone in men. And I also forgot to tell you about gynecomastia. There's a hormonal problem, gynecomastia, that so many men have. Women like breasts these days. And this is also a hormonal problem. Even men can get breast cancer. So the key to solving any problem is understanding the cause of the problem. For example, if you have hypothyroidism and if you take thyroxine, you take it regularly, is the hypothyroidism going to go away? No, not at all. Because the hypothyroidism is only controlled by medicines. So, medicines can only control any problem. Same with diabetes. If you have diabetes and you're taking medicines for diabetes, you can't expect the diabetes to go away. You can expect over a period of years to need more medicines and more medicines, and if the wrong medicines are given, then eventually it can cause burnout of the pancreas and then you need insulin. So we have to understand that medicines never cure. Medicines can naturally only remove symptoms. But the body always works to heal, and if we want to help the body heal, we have to remove the cause of the problem. So today we're going to understand what is the cause of hormonal problems. Causes are number one, hormones themselves. Like I told you, we shouldn't take hormones to, delay the menstrual period, or we shouldn't take hormones to sleep better. We should find out what is the cause of lack of sleep, because if we take hormones, it's going to upset the hormonal balance. And as I said, vitamin D is also a hormone. And today, so many people, vitamin D is a hormone that is produced by the action of the sun on the skin. But if we are not out in the sun, and if we're not exposing enough of our skin, or else we're in locations where it's too polluted, so the sun's rays don't really fall on the skin, they fall through the atmosphere and they get diluted. So vitamin D is formed by the action of the sun on the skin, and if we don't get enough vitamin D, this can also cause hormonal imbalance. If you don't have enough vitamin D, you can also get, it predisposes you to diabetes. So we really need to make sure our hormones are in balance. So hormones from outside, and then chemicals. Chemicals are hormone disruptors. You must have heard that. And the third is fat. Fat holds on to hormones. So all those excess hormones are held in fat, and if we let go of that excess fat, we can heal hormonal problems. So that's what we need to do, understand the cause and remove it. So number one, hormones. Where are the hormones coming from? The medicines, the steroids, the oral contraceptives, the thyroxine, which may or may not be at the correct level, the vitamin D. Excess vitamin D can also cause hypervitamin D, which is a problem. And then hormone replacement therapy. And then when people have hormonal cancers, they are often given hormonal treatment. Like breast, prostate, and ovarian cancer are all hormonal cancers. And then animal products. Now, animals produce the same hormones that we do. They produce adrenaline, they produce cortisol, they produce all the other hormones that we do. And so, if we consume animal products, we are actually consuming their hormones as well. And this can lead to imbalance. Now, one question might be, aren't we supposed to eat animals anyway? Aren't we originally omnivores? And the truth is, we have told ourselves that we're omnivores. But if you think about it, if you're in nature and you're walking around, you would pick fruits and you would pick vegetables to eat. But you wouldn't pick wheat and rice even, would you? But if you see a chicken walk by, or a goat, or a cow, or even a rabbit, would you have the um, instinct to pounce on it, to tear it apart? No, because you can't eat it raw. I mean, that's why wheat and rice are also not our foods, because we can't eat them raw. So, when we've been told we're omnivores, but we have to think, did nature or God expect us to eat animal products? And the answer is no. So, therefore, we have to modify and eat plant based food. Now, we have to remember that even dairy is a animal product, and the cow secretes all kinds of hormones that come into the dairy: prolactin and estrogen and progesterone and growth hormones and IGF and so on. And so, milk alone can cause many of the hormonal issues that we face today. And the corollary is also true, that if you take milk out of the equation, you can get rid of so many hormonal problems. When I say milk, I mean milk, cheese, butter, cream, paneer, ice cream, curds, buttermilk, even ghee, which is a fat. Remember, I said that fats store hormones? Okay, so then I said that chemicals are hormone disruptors. And where are the chemicals coming from? One, it could be in the food, the conventionally grown food, the food grown with pesticides. Imagine that we humans spray our food with pesticides so that other animals don't eat it, and then we eat it. Isn't that like crazy? So we should always go for organic wherever possible. And two is the packaged foods, which, in order to stay on the shelves and have a long shelf life, always contain acid regulators and chemicals, and so we need to think twice before eating these. Or I wouldn't say always contain, but most of the time they contain. And then animal products. Animal products contain chemicals just because all the food that animals have eaten is, I mean, much of it contains chemicals these days, especially the animals that we are eating, because we are raising the cows and we are raising the chicken, and we are giving them food that has often been sprayed with pesticide. So I just want to show you that, the levels of pesticide in milk have been researched in India, and this was in the early 2000s, already 25 years ago, by the ICMR. The ICMR researched milk for 7 years, taking 50,000 samples from all across India, and they found that 5.7 milligrams per kilogram of HCH in milk on an average. Now, the Food and Adulteration Act permits only 0.01 milligrams per kilogram, but nobody checks the pesticide levels of milk. Imagine if on an average 5.7 milligrams per kilogram of HCH is in milk, it means that we are consuming 570 times the permissible levels of pesticide. So, pesticides and even chemicals bioaccumulate in animals. So, when we consume their products, the chemicals that they have consumed, and they're not just consuming it from the food, but many of the animals are eating from garbage dumps. They're consuming plastic as well. And not only that, but many animals are given medicines in order to keep them alive in horrific conditions that they are, you know, um, kept in. And then we can't forget that medicines are chemicals. In fact, I told you about this a patient from Dubai that I just saw today before this, And this lady was told by her doctor that she has type 1 diabetes, and she was on a whole list of medicines, but she went to live with her daughter, who's quite clued into all this. And her daughter said, I'm going to put you on a proper diet, and we are going to do an intermittent fasting and eat only healthy food. Now, what the daughter thought was healthy and what I think is healthy were two slightly different things, but whatever she did already got some results. So she was able to reduce the medications. She helped reduce the diabetic medications. Even though the doctors had said that this is type 1 diabetes, she was able to reduce the medications. And when I saw this patient, the blood pressure was too low. So I said, even the blood pressure medications have to be reduced. And she also had hypothyroidism, as I said. So imagine if we reduce the medications, the hypothyroidism is also going to get better. Actually, when we take a medication, then we're often taking another medication because of the side effects of the first one. Let me explain. It's our body's duty to, I'm just going to stop my screen share and share with you. It's our body's duty to produce symptoms whenever whenever we are doing something wrong. So if we are eating wrongly, body produces diabetes, we have certain symptoms. Now if you take medicine to bring down those symptoms, then the body has to produce a new symptom in order to keep letting us know. It's the body's job to let us know. Right? So whenever we get symptoms, we should say, thank you, body, for producing these symptoms and looking after me. Thank you for letting me know that I'm doing something wrong. And then make the right changes so that the symptom goes away by understanding. Okay, back to my screen share. Before I get, well, I was just thinking, should I allow you to ask questions now? But I think let me finish the whole talk and then I'll open for questions. So medicines are chemicals as well, and so we want to minimize the medicines as soon as possible. And as she minimized the diabetes medicines, the blood pressure came down, and now we are reducing the blood pressure medicines. And while I was at it, I even told her that please stop the medicines for high cholesterol, because now if we are on a plant-based diet, we're not consuming cholesterol from outside anymore. Only animals produce cholesterol. There's no cholesterol in plants. There's no cholesterol even in cashews and coconut. Cholesterol is only produced by animals. So if we stop consuming animal products, automatically cholesterol will go down. Now I kind of simplified it and it's a little more complicated than this, but for the moment this is enough to know. Okay, and then personal care products. This is a big one. First of all, one of the biggest culprits is perfumes. And unfortunately, many personal care products contain perfumes, like the soaps and shampoos and lotions and potions, and all the makeup contains something to make it smell good. And this is harmful to us. And that's why there are personal care products now available which are without perfumes or only containing essential oils. So, I mean, we can't forget toothpaste is also a bunch of chemicals, isn't it? So, we need to think and reduce this and use things that are more natural. We have to remember that all these things have been there in the market only since the last 100 or 150 years. Before that, humans survived without all of these things, and we easily can. And then home care products. One of the worst is the air fresheners, Because I've seen that, you sit in a car or a taxi and they have air fresheners. That means the person driving the car is breathing chemicals from morning to night. Or you go into some five-star hotels or other restaurants and they have these dispensers which dispense air fresheners at regular intervals. And instead of smelling your food, you're smelling some lime air freshener. And then, also these phenyls and naphthalene balls and talcum powder, and all of these are chemicals. Talcum powder goes in home care, but personal care, but the powder that we use to clean the floors and everything. And actually, a lot of cleaning can be done just with baking soda and vinegar, which are not so toxic. And then there are things to avoid in your kitchen. Teflon is a big one. Teflon is actually a chemical that can seep into your food. And unfortunately, not only is it used in our kitchens, but it's commonly used in restaurant kitchens, which is why we need to think twice about eating at restaurants. And then aluminum, also used to a large extent in restaurant kitchens or kitchens that cook large quantities in a short time. Like aluminum is a good conductor, it's also very cheap to buy big aluminum vessels. And don't forget, milk in India is often transported in aluminum containers. Aluminum is absorbed into the food, especially if you're cooking sour food in an aluminum container, even a pressure cooker. And this aluminum can cause Alzheimer's or memory lapses and Parkinson's as well. And then plastic. Those black plastic containers when you order from Swiggy and Zomato, those black plastic containers are often made from IT waste, like computer waste or telephones waste. It's made from those things, which means toxic materials are going into your food, especially if hot food is put in these containers. And then plastic, like water bottles, this is harmful too. And you can actually taste it. Like if you buy bottled water, haven't you tasted the difference in the taste of water in bottled water and the one that comes from your filter? And the microwave, that's another thing. If you put food in the microwave in a melamine or plastic container, that can get into the food. But anyway, those microwaves are bad because they change the structure of the food, and so they should be avoided. So, what are all the sources of chemicals that we need to be aware of? And nobody can avoid chemicals in this world. But let us avoid or let us minimize them to the extent possible. So, the non organic foods, the packaged food, the animal products, the medicines, the personal care products, the home care products. I mean, think about lipstick. I'm just thinking that's chemicals put onto your lips and then you're eating something and it's going in your body. And plastics and environmental pollution. We are breathing it all the time and we are producing it and we can't avoid it. But it's sad because we're getting sick because of it. Chemicals are not just hormone disruptors, chemicals are carcinogens. And that's another reason why we should stop using all these types of chemicals, because today so many people have cancer, isn't it? And then fat. We need to take fat out of our food, which is why we at Sharan teach how to cook with without oil or any fat. In fact, how to prepare food without any fat. And we have to remember that animal products are full of fat. Like you boil meat, fish, chicken, or milk, and you get fat on top. Cheese is 70% fat. Now, that doesn't mean that we are fat free. If we are eating plants, we are also getting fat. Like coconut has fat, and nuts have fat, and seeds have a lot of fat, and so do avocados and other things. But there's a difference. Plants contain fiber. If you boil almonds or cashews or peanuts or any of these plant products in whole, you will not get fat on top. The fiber holds onto the fat and the fiber ushers it out, which brings me to another point that we need to have a lot more fiber in the food. That means everything should be whole. No peeling vegetables or fruits that you can't peel with your bare hands. And make sure that your grains are all whole, like the pasta that you see here, and or the bread, right? Make sure that you're eating rotis instead of naan, etc. Right? And don't peel your carrots, but don't even peel your pumpkins, your gourds like bitter gourd or ridge gourd or bottle gourd. Don't peel any of those things. Don't even peel the kiwi. That means fiber is our gold. Fiber is what's going to help us heal. Fiber is what's going to hold on to toxins and fat and even sugar and usher it out of the body. So please don't let go of the fiber. Now, we can reverse diseases. I've written this book, Reversing Diabetes in 21 Days. That doesn't mean that everyone can reverse diabetes in 21 days, but it does mean that, uh, many people can reverse diabetes in 21 days. And the reason the publishers asked me to choose this title was because I conducted 21-day residential program where we do all the tests in the beginning and all the tests in the end. And during the program, we cut down the medication. And people are often able to reverse diabetes in just 21 days. But even if it takes longer, this book tells you all the things you need to know to reverse diabetes. Like today, we've talked about the causes of hormonal problems and how and why we should remove them, but actually how to remove them. How do you take fat out of your diet? What do you do to replace, say, detergents with other things? These are the things that you can learn from this book. So, this book can help people with any hormonal problem, including but not restricted to diabetes. So, in summary, hormonal problems are caused by hormones, fats, and chemicals. And hormonal issues take time to heal, but they do heal eventually. Sharan has a 5-point plan that everything should be plant based, everything should be whole and organic, and vitamin B12 and D, which are vitamins that we would naturally get if we were living naturally, but now we aren't, and we're all living artificial lifestyles. Vitamin B12 is only produced by bacteria, and today we have a super hygienic lifestyle, so we don't get enough bacteria in our water. And vitamin D is only produced by the action of the sun on the skin, and it's a hormone. and therefore we don't want it to either be low or high, and so we should always check these two vitamins and supplement if necessary. And whenever we do a consultation, we do all these tests so that we can make sure to put everything in place so that nobody needs to take medicine. Now, how can Sharan help you? We have talks and workshops and seminars, talks like this, and we have online consultations that you can avail of wherever you are in the world. And we have publications, books, and I'll soon be sharing some of them, and cooking classes. How to cook without oil, how to cook without dairy, how can you make all the food that you love without the um, without missing anything, no deprivation, and retreats where you can get many results on the spot. So, check out our website and our YouTube channel. And if you go to our resources section, you can download for free these publications. Timeless Recipes is also in Gujarati, and we now have timeless recipes in Tamil. I'll be showing that to you soon. And then we have Sharan Healthy Living, which talks about all the basics of living healthy with Sharan. And of course, reversing diabetes in 21 days that I already showed you. These are our two new books, Meal Replacer Salads and the recipe book in Tamil. And I just want to say that why are we stressing on salads? Because we heal the body with nutrients, with high quality foods. And raw foods always have more nutrients than cooked. So, if we can add more raw to our diet, this will be very helpful as well. Here's a QR code if you want to get on our mailing list. But otherwise, you can just go to our website, and actually, if you've registered for this, you should already be on our mailing list.
Yes, doctor, can I just share what's coming up?
Yes.
Okay. So we have quite a few sessions coming up. Our upcoming free events. We have a cancer support group, which is led by a cancer thriver, Jayashree Kannan. She's a facilitator. This happens every Wednesday online. If you know somebody who's having cancer, then would highly recommend you join this. We have the Power of One Thought. It's a book reading that we have every Thursday online. This comes in mental health. Uh, we have a potluck party happening in Hyderabad on Saturday, 28th February. If anybody is there, then do try to attend this and you'll learn a lot more. Dr. Nandita is visiting Delhi and you can actually meet her. So if you're there or you know somebody there, she's having three beautiful programs over there. 10 Steps to a Life Without Medicines on Saturday, 7th March. Reversing Diabetes and Hypertension, Sunday, 8th March. If you're in India, it's worth traveling also and attending this because it really helps. And we have a healthy cooking workshop also on Sunday, 8th of March. Sharan is there to support you. We have a website with loads of recipes and lots of information. We have had many people who just read our information, get results, and write to us. We're there on Instagram, on Facebook. We have a WhatsApp broadcast where we send out details about our programs, recipes, testimonials, details about our workshops, etc. We have a wonderful YouTube channel with loads of information. We do online consultations as well as in person consultations in some cities. We have amazing cooking classes, seminars, workshops, weight loss programs, detox programs, health retreats, and even health holidays. Our 21-day health retreat is happening in June, and it's worth and a once in a lifetime experience. People come back and go back totally different, healed to a large extent, and many medicines reduced as well. Okay, so we are there to support you wherever it is required. Okay,
And
thank
Rena, I want to thank you for all the work you've done today. and all the work you continue to do to help so many people get well.
Thank you.
So, she does a lot of programs and they're really amazing as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Wishing you all great health always from Team Sharan. And please do check out our website and YouTube channel. There's lots there for you. Thank you. Okay. Bye bye. Thank you.